They call us deplorable, and we love the name. They got the bodies in the dirt and need someone to blame. Got a penchant for greed and money to spare. They put the dollars in the coffers and the lies in the air. Well, we go one, we go all. I won't push you down, you won't let me fall. One day for sure we will stand tall. Where we go one, we go all. We are the patriots, trust the plan, because we have it all and the fate is in our hands. Had a reason to fool us, but we didn't take the bait. They want to take us to hell, but we got guns at the gate. Where we go one, we go all. I won't push you down, you won't let me fall. One day for sure we will stand tall. Where we go one, we go all. They call it a conspiracy, it's the one last lie. We know who they are, and we got them in our sights. Our knowledge is power, they're running for the hills. If the law don't get them, then we the people will. Well, we go one, we go all. I won't push you down, you won't let me fall. One day for sure we will stand tall. Where we go one, we go all. We go all. I won't push you down, you won't let me fall. One day for sure we will stand tall. Where we go one, we go all.
Loud and clear. 5x5. Okay, it seems like Tenacity's finger slipped off the key, so I'm going to go ahead and pick it up here. So to continue on, my vision is, or I should start with my story. You know, I started in this deep, dark hole a long time ago before Obama got elected into office. And then when he got elected into office is when I got really, really deep into it. And I got into a lot of dark places, and I was in a dark place because of all the knowledge that I had learned. And I felt so alone, felt like I was the only one in this whole world that knew this. And it was a crazy feeling. Oh, hold on. I got YouTube music. Tenacity, I think you got the Twitch going. See up at the top, the blue bar, Twitch. Check, mic check. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Of course, so anyways. Okay, everybody hears me fine. Cool. All right, so I'm going to continue on. So, for a long time, I was in a very dark, dark place because I had no one to talk to. Couldn't talk to my wife. I couldn't talk to anyone. And then one day, when I was doing all my investigations into certain areas, I happened all the Patriots at True Lies, and then it split from True Lies, went to L9, then went to L9 to Patriot News. And in the meantime, we've all got the same objective, but because of certain things, I don't know why, but everybody split up. So my intent is to unite everybody in this fight through this platform, through collaboration, cross collaboration, meaning that I would love for everyone to continue what they're doing at Patriot News, L9, and any other place. What I would want to see is people bringing their content, wanting to share their content. Those that don't have a voice necessarily put a program together and have your voices heard. Roundtable discussions. You can script it if you want to. We have the capabilities to do that kind of thing. We have people that are going to be capable of doing those things in the future. We do have visuals now. So that's pretty much where I'm coming from. I want everybody to have a voice, and through this platform, I think that we can provide that. Am I by myself?
No, 100%. You're not by yourself. I was just, it was just going through my brain what you were saying. And, you know, I think that the conservative movement, no matter where we are in this, on this road, um, it is to all the patriots' benefits to band together, like you say, so that you know, when YouTube kicks one of us for whatever reason, we all have a platform to go to and support each other from. So we're getting everybody's word out so that, you know, when YouTube it's so kicks one of us for whatever reason, fight, we all have a platform to go to and support each other from. So we're getting everybody's the biggest out. So that advantage to this whole idea, to be honest with you.
So yeah, I mean, hanging out at Patriot News for the last year, 2 years, through all those things there, I found it very invigorating when they would do their dives, and we would all of us would just go totally nuts on a certain subject or a certain name, and the freaking information that we could provide in such a small period of time. Now those things, I would love to be brought over here, put it on our platform, record it as you're doing it, keep it as your own. I don't want the rights to it, but keep it as your own. And at the same time that you're doing it, you're doubling your audience by doing it here, because everybody on all platforms may want to watch it. They'll watch it. And then you post it to YouTube, and you've got another source for your viewership.
Correct. I think you're 100% correct. But, when I think about what brought me to this movement, I need to think about, where I began. I began with food and how corrupt the food system was. And that went to the corporate control that's on this country. And that led to, all the TV quality was going way downhill, and it seemed to me that it was control of thought on our TVs, whether it was commercials or news or any of that, right? Then the Bernie Sanders, I was a big Bernie Sanders fan. And the reason I was a big Bernie Sanders fan is because he brought out the corporate fraud, and he brought out the offshore accounts and whatnot, and those were things that we had never heard any politician speak of before. I hadn't heard Trump's speech. President Trump, when Bernie lost to her cheating, basically, I started listening to Trump, and I thought to myself, wait a minute, who's copying whose speech? The only difference is, wait a minute, Donald Trump is way more detailed, because Sanders was very vague. He would put out innuendos, and that was it. And so, in retrospect, it was, of course, a blessing that she did cheat him, or their movement cheated him, and all the corruption happened, because we got Donald Trump as our president, and thank God. And I've been on the wagon ever since. What was your how did you get here?
Well, like I spent many years during the Obama years researching. Like I said, it took me into a lot of dark places, and I learned a lot of things. And I didn't have anybody to talk to. But then I found all these patriots, and it just renewed me, invigorated, because I knew I wasn't alone anymore. And then as time passed on, it just kept growing. But I knew things weren't right. I've known things weren't right for a long time. I listened to all of them, and I was never on board with any of them. In the beginning, I would have rooted for Ted Cruz. But through all my research, I knew that Ted Cruz wasn't a citizen of the United States. He was holding a double position, a Canadian citizenship, I believe it was, and U.S. And so, that kind of screwed me up with him. So yeah, I was to this day I'm I'm not going to say uncommitted, but I'm on the train, and I want to believe what's being said. I want to believe what he's doing. But through all this research and all the avenues or journeys or roads I've been down, I've learned not to put all my eggs in that basket. You got to look at it. You got to research it and know who you're supporting, what you're supporting as best as you can, and not listen to somebody else. It's good to listen to other people, but at the same time, don't necessarily believe what they're saying. Find the truth for yourself. Corroborate it.
One. It was a scary time. But I have to say that with President Trump, the hope for a future for not only me and getting to see this is happening in real life right now, even though we don't see everything. There's so much hope in this movement with all the executive orders, with all the acts that are being passed, with everything that's going down, and all the research that all the patriots are doing. And even if Twitter is you know putting us down, we're really, if you follow the right people, you're getting the right information, like in the Matrix and War Drummer and people like them. It's so important to, because they do their own research. Citizens Investigative Report is another real good one to get. She does a lot of research, and when you follow people like that, you not only learn, but you get to dig further and share yet more.
Yes, and I would totally agree with that because, I mean, the response to the War Drummer and in the Matrix come together like that was totally, totally outstanding. I guess there's another word I could use, but it was outstanding in my eyes because when they were doing that, they were doing it live, and I'm sure it wasn't scripted, but at the time they were watching it, there were over 5,000 people watching. 5,000 people. That's us included. That's cross collaboration. That's why I built this server the way I did. Because if you scroll down in all these folders, it's just not a bunch of junk. You got a lot of information. It's another dream that I've got, that that some people would volunteer to do a news hour. I know that Pointing Up News girl, she's got a great voice. She does a little bit of that on Patriot News. Maybe, I would love to see her, maybe, and a couple others, assemble a team and do a news hour if they wanted to, or if anybody wanted to. I'm just generalizing. You see what I'm saying? So this is the kind of things that I want to happen here.
Freedom, how did you get into this movement?
Well, I guess it, when the internet first opened up, and this is like in when I got my first computer, I started using it as a research tool. And when AOL came around, and you dial up, I started getting into the little chat rooms, and I used it to research more. I realized that it was this great tool, and I got, I've always been, researching things. When I hear government, when you hear the fake news media, and they are fake news, they've been fake news for a long time. But the first time I really realized it in my own lifetime was when I saw CNN. I mean, not CNN, C-SPAN, and I watched live speeches on the floor of the House of Representatives and on the floor of the Senate. And then the next day, I would hear the media talk about those speeches and just lie. Didn't even the characterization of what was actually said and what they were reporting were night and day, 180 degrees from reality. And I think Bill Clinton was the one who made me actually step out of my comfort zone. And I took some Army wives, and we did a little radio tour of the United States, because Hillary Clinton was out there saying that not one American soldier died in Haiti when Bill Clinton took us into Haiti. And that was just a blatant lie. And this was approximately 11 months. She said it on Chris Matthews. I think it was Chris Matthews or some other television job. Maybe it was with Tim Russert when he was still alive. And saying that not one American soldier had died in Haiti, which a total lie, as usual, that comes out of any time that woman opens her mouth. And so I remembered 2 special forces out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina. One was killed and one was seriously wounded. And so I called up Fort Bragg, and I spoke to the public relations person for the special forces. And I asked them if they would send me any press release information, because I wanted to write an article and a letter to my editor and congressmen and senators and stuff like that. And that's how it started. And I called up Chris Matthews and Tim Russert and told them and sent them the information, emailed it to them. They were lying. They knew they were lying. And yet they wouldn't shut up about it. Not one American soldier had died in Haiti. So we started off with Michael Reagan show out in California. And we ended up in, the last show was done by Sergeant Cardot's widow. And she was on Rush Limbaugh. And but I had always sort of been politically active from a very young age. It was something that was nurtured in us, and good critical thinking skills were nurtured in us in our elementary school. I went to a great elementary school and had great teachers. So that's how I got started. And I got some information and started looking, at the different politicians, when Barack Obama was running as U.S. Senator against Ambassador Alan Keyes. He exposed him. He was the first one who exposed himself as not being eligible because he was born in Kenya, raised in Indonesia. It was Barack Obama. And so the media lies and said that it was Donald Trump. They lie when they even said it was Bill and Hillary Clinton. It was Barack Obama exposed himself in a debate between Alan Keyes when he was running for U.S. Senator. And then I decided at that time, after Barack Obama was elected, and it was clearly he was not a U.S. citizen, that I would vet anyone who ran for president. I didn't care what party. It was sort of like True the Vote. I can't remember her name, Catherine something or another, True the Vote out of Dallas, Texas. And I was going to vet anybody who ran for president. Rick Santorum, he had 0 parents who were U.S. citizens. His father became a U.S. citizen when he was 27. Marco Rubio, 0 parents that were citizens when he was born. His parents became citizens when he was 4 and a half.
So
Nikki Haley's.
so for
Excuse
you,
me?
what's the timeline of your learning curve here?
The timeline of my learning.
Rather than get into, the history of it, what's the timeline of your
Well, obviously that's when Barack Obama was president, and then when he ran again, anybody who was going to run, or anybody who was going to run for president, I was going to vet them. And so then you have Ted Cruz coming along, claiming he's a U.S. citizen. He isn't. So that brings us up to the current, basically this last election, when we had 5 people who were not eligible to running in the Republican Party. So that brings us up to.
Right. How about you, Lilith? How did you get into this movement? Do you want to talk about that? Or USN? Tenacity? Yes.
Absolutely.
I think USM wants to talk here. Hold on a second. Go ahead, USM.
Oh, no, thank you. Thanks. Just want to say good evening to everybody, and thanks for inviting me and having me on, and I want to say hello to everybody who's listening out there. All the patriots, we're all on the same side. We're all trying to head in the right direction. Some of us are on different roads. Some of us are, we're just taking different routes to get to the same place. For the question of how I got involved with this, that's not really going to be easy for me to answer. I sort of got red pilled at a very young age when Americans were taken hostage in Tehran in 1979. Growing up in the 70s and the 80s, seeing President Reagan basically, ride in on the white horse and take care of business and take down the Soviet Union. And, it felt like a really good time. He felt like a really great president. Really what got me, I guess, to this part of the movement. How did I get here? Hillary Clinton repeatedly getting away with felony after felony after felony. And when Representative Trey Gowdy had asked Hillary Clinton a specific question about what had taken place in Benghazi, where 4 Americans, including Ambassador Stevens, were murdered, were literally ambushed by a hit squad. When Hillary Clinton
Did you cut off? You see, you
Okay. So yeah, when Hillary scoffed and laughed at the Congress, and when she said, "What difference does it make?" and the you know all the business with the email investigation, the subsequent cover up, that's pretty much what led me into. Um, I got to be honest with you. Probably not a popular statement, but I was going on Infowars, the shooting in Las Vegas, the mass murder in Las Vegas last year, um, pushed me to Infowars prior to my learning about this Discord platform. Um, so I probably basically sat and listened to Alex Jones, and he would hype everything up and make you wait and wait and wait, and then really come up with nothing. And then early this spring, probably right around late February, a friend of mine, pointing up NewsGal, I had suggested that the Discord platform was available, so I came on, and QNN was basically QNN True Lies was the server that I was on, and so met a lot of really really great people there, and we did some great digs. We had some really really excellent discussions, and then as I think some of us have seen, QNN kind of people went in different directions, opened up different servers, kept seeing that happening, and I would much rather see our members, Discord members, try to stay together as much as possible, work together. But guys, stand by for 1 second.
no problem.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, you guys noticed I had posted a statement, not a statement. Yeah, okay. I had written something. It was basically motivational, but it was kind of a question, and I had posted it on many servers in Discord platform, asking fellow patriots from Discord and YouTube, I'm going to read this if you guys don't mind. So this was many months ago. I posted this question on the servers asking what do you think is going on that draws all of us together every day, every night? People just night after night, we're all together, like friends, almost turning into a family or a tribe, And then what is that? It's not. I don't think it's about making America great again. I don't think it's about President Trump. I think those have something to do with it. But there's people on Discord from all over the world. So, and they're doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing as the members from the states. They're on day after day, night after night. So it's really not about making America great again. It's about the Great Awakening, and so yeah, I just threw that up there. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but yeah, basically that's my story. Want to see as many people as possible work together, verify as much information as we can prior to posting things or putting it out on YouTube, just to make sure it's accurate and double checked, and hopefully we can all get along really well and work together and have some good discussions and teach each other and learn a lot. So yeah, thank you.
Well, I can personally say, well, myself, I welcome you here. I've been listening to you for a long time, and I think you're a good person, and I'm glad to have you here. No doubt about it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. And I enjoy being here. Thanks.
So Lilith, how about you?
Yo. Uh, I started when the banks went after my home, and I got really upset because I was thinking I am caught up with my payments. I have to prove I have sent all this information everywhere, and nobody's listening to me. So I started researching, and somebody told me you need to go on Twitter or Facebook or some. I said, okay, I'll try that. So I went on Twitter and they told me to come to Discord and put my grievances. There was a lot of groups in here. And my nightmare went from there. Um I started researching about the banks and I end up researching about the crooks. And here I am. I got recruited by QAnon by a friend because he told them that I was an excellent researcher. Um, I was in QAnon. I was treated like crap. Um, then we went to L9, and um, that pretty much went down the drain too. And Max rescued me, and I was on his server for a long time. Just me, just doing research and saving and stuff. And I decided to open my little server and just kind of set it up as a library for, if Max and his friends needed info, he could come over there and pick it up. And it started growing little by little. And I end up under Freedom because I guess she decided to prove to Max that I was going to get dragged out of the dark. And she did.
So that's cool. So listen, I know that you and Search are kind of teamed up together, and we're doing some research on a certain. I think was it Square One or was it Circle One?
Um, it was about the brothers. The uh, one with his family died in New Jersey, I believe. Uh, they were found shot, and then they burned the house, and they blamed the brother. And I started doing all the digging, but it was a big, huge endeavor, and everybody that said they were gonna try to put the Q's and P's in that server that we opened, we're not doing it, and that thing is huge. It's got so many tentacles. It's not even funny. I cannot do it alone. Plus, I have to do my daily research, and I like to get the daily stuff out for my friends that I have and post it on the servers I belong to. Some servers that I belong to, because other servers they already got it before I get it, so I don't bother. But um, that's all what it is. Just I had to stop because I could not search that thing by myself. It would have took me months to finish it.
Right. So then, in your opinion, would you think that it would be something that is necessary to be investigated into further? I mean, what kind of tentacles are we talking about? You told me that they're going in all kind of directions. What kind of directions are we talking about?
I'm talking about, like, I'm gonna give you an example because I don't recall all the names at this moment, but like it was one company, and from that company, um, it was a spider web, but inside the spider web were more spider webs, and I pretty much just got tired of it, and I summarized it, and the summary is there. I posted it there. All ends, all the tentacles or spider webs that were in there and in Soros.
Cool. I would like to go look at it. So it's on your other server, right?
Searcher helped me set it up. It's called New Jersey Blues. Let me post the There's nothing in there except 3 rooms, and I started filling up the other rooms, but then I've been doing this for so long that I can see the ending of the nightmare, and I just summarized it, and I said, if 3 companies got Soros' name on them, everything is gone. Yes, square one. So if a square one it's got these and this and this and this and this under them, and I went into the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and I looked some numbers, and yes, it was all tied together. So I put it together and I just left it there.
Cool. Maybe we can make a. Well, yeah, I'd like to see that summary. So yeah, I'm gonna go look at look at it. Yeah. So who else is gonna talk?
Can you guys hear me out there? Mic check. Can you hear me?
5 by 5.
Awesome. So I figured it out. I've had too many buttons, so I didn't want to interrupt with you guys. So thank you so much for sharing. So I won't go long deep. I do have a really unique perspective, and I actually came by this completely different than most. And it's actually saved my life, to be honest, and I won't go into all the drabs of that either, but I'm very grateful. And much of what you said, 101st, I was yearning and dying. If you're a strange one and you see truth and no one else does, you're isolated, right? And that's been my story. Very similar to you guys, people discount you, right? Because they don't want your truth to be heard, right? Or they don't want to believe your truth. That's usually the other one. And so that's always been my thing. So I just ignored it, right? And I had a very unique like I said, perspective. My father introduced me to the other side of the world, and I grew up being the kid, on a lot of things that we read about. I actually lived in Nicaragua during the Iran-Contra, and I'll tell you about that one day. All kinds of crazy. So, and I didn't know what that meant. So I think part of my searching, and that's what I mean when I went about this a little different, I was searching for knowledge more around the, what the hell happened? What was that? Was that a dream? Was that for real? What? Right. The next thing is I also have a knack for technology, as you guys kind of get it. So I found myself making things.
Tenacity, you cut out.
Okay, check.
You're good.
I think I just need to give the push to talk a break for a second once in a while. Okay, so I built a lot of things, and I invented a lot of things. So that got me on a radars, and I'll just summarize it that. I found myself in corporate America, worked for places like Chase, Accenture, Microsoft, because I can figure things out. Not because, other things, but maybe because of other things, but I didn't know that at the time. So summarizing that forward, I got to get a really interesting perspective of that world. I was ignorant, though. I grew up Catholic, Mormon, no TV, no computer, no phone. So I was clueless, and I was very much brainwashed. Had no idea about politics. In fact, couldn't stand it. Didn't care about Hollywood, couldn't stand it. All that, right? So I was very, very, very ignorant. I didn't even have a phone until I was over 20, right? Which is most people go, what? It's funny, in technology, everyone talks in movie quotes. I don't know if you guys ever catch that, and I don't know what the hell they're saying. I just look at them like, okay. So I'm the alien, because they're all, now they know me, but it's funny because I'm just like, is that from movie? Should I know that from something? Anyway, it's very interesting. So all that coming forward, I finally started when I ran into the chants, right? Because I've always been diggy, and weird stuff. So, if there's that knowledge to be had, let me find it, right? By myself, because nobody else cared. And I have isolated myself from that crazy family because I'm not them, right? But I was already judge, jury, you know, I was already guilty, right? If you're related, as you guys know, if you're bloodline to anybody, you're already in trouble. And if you're not in trouble, you should be. And if you're not, they're mad at you. It's a very twisted thing. Okay, so being successful actually pissed them off, as you can imagine. But whatever. So about 2 years ago, right, Q came. Well, I was embedded in Anonymous, believe it or not, and I can say that out loud now. And it was awesome, right? And I didn't care. They didn't know me, and I didn't know them. It was just people that thought like me, and I didn't care, right? My husband thought I was insane because you're like, why are you chasing these people who are going to probably get you in a lot of trouble? I was like, I don't care, right? They're cool. They say stuff, right? And Alex Jones even, right? He says stuff. He might be crazy, but who's not nowadays, right? And so, you know, I'm going to take it and give it. You know, you get a family like mine. You got to take what you can, you know, what you believe and leave the rest, right? I mean, they're all cognitive dissidents in that world. Because they have to keep and maintain 50 different realities, right? All of them. Both the religious side of the world and the drug running side of the world and the government side of the world. They're all carrying about 15 different agendas, right? So underneath that all, you know, being a sensitive, empathic kind of person that I am, I was totally confused by all those hidden agendas. Hence the search for truth, right? Okay, fast forward to Q. I got embedded in CBTS. As soon as the whole chance, and all of a sudden I saw Pamphlet raise the head and start talking to Alex Jones, I was like, oh, are we mainstream now, right? Because all that stuff I had done for the corporate America, I wanted to give it to the we the people. And there's a whole nother reason, but I'll get into that another day. And I knew that I could help. I was like so freaking eager. I was like, oh, I can make videos and I can do this and I can do this and I can do this. Okay, that just put a big fat target on my head. Let me tell you. And I didn't know, right? I'm ignorant to this stuff. I have no clue. I just hit those walls over and over again. And everywhere I went, I would be squelched or muted, literally muted, or discounted, or made some kind of coup. That was the fun ones, right? She's done this crazy thing, and it's like, wait a minute, I wasn't even there. You know that. So it's kind of turned into a game. You know, it's like now that someone does something, I take it as a compliment because it means I'm on somebody's radar. Because, you know, I mean, we don't have a lot of interaction with people, so let's take. I know that sounds twisted, right? But hey, you know, I'm getting under somebody's crawl, so that must be okay. So anyway, that's what I'm saying is that I kind of taken that. I realized this was it was an energy game because they literally almost killed me a couple times because of energy, because of sending me all that, and I knew that I had to help all the rest of us, and that's why I keep doing it. Yeah, I guess that's why, you know, why am I still here? You know, it doesn't matter how much you beat me up. It proves that I'm over the target, and I love my patriots. I love my people, regardless if they're patriots or not. So I might as well show them, and that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about this. Right? Is because I'm allowed to be, I'm allowed to show that I'm proud to be American. I'm allowed to show that I love my brothers and sisters. That's okay. Right? And if they want to call me a conspiracy theorist, fine. That's good. I don't care. So, and that's kind of my stand. I hope that resonates with some of you guys.
Absolutely. Murph, what's your story? You care to share?
Oh, I just stepped in. What's the overall thing?
How did you get into this movement? How did you get red pilled?
Well, it was that kind of accidental. I, for the first time in my life, I went to a Second Amendment rally at the Michigan State Capitol, and guy was went with me along with my son and somebody else. There's four of us. Anyway, one of the guys had a QAnon shirt on. I'm like, what the heck is that? You know, that was the first time I heard of QAnon. So I started digging into it so that was June 20th. And started digging into it. I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. Especially since I'm already a naturally Hillary hater anyway. But anything that basically supports the United States, the Constitution, and, you know, the way the founders wanted it to be, and you know, basically equal rights for everybody. You know, I mean, the thing has evolved and evolved slowly over the years, and that seems like a good thing to me. You know, that's about my story. Other than that, just you I'm glad to be here. Glad to be part of the family.
Good story. So anyway, I seen somebody just sneak in here, and I don't want to put him on the spot, but I surely would love to hear his story.
Who was that? I just snuck in.
Yeah, and Wirehead.
Tennessee, it's your turn.
Oh, you don't want to put somebody on the spot, but Tennessee, it's your turn.
Hey, it's your turn. I didn't actually say that.
No, man, you ain't got to say nothing, man.
No, brother, I got involved with the Patriot group probably right before the deal happened in Oregon with the Bundys and LaVoy Finicum. Probably about 2 months before, because I knew something wasn't right with our government. There was a lot of, I don't know, shady laws being passed. And, my background, it kind of made me question what was going on. And you kind of had that feeling in your gut for longer than the last 3, 4, 5 years that something wasn't right. And that's kind of what brought me. I guess I come here through the Patriot movement, but I'm not all about battle rattle and going out and playing war games and going and protesting in the street. It's knowledge is the greatest weapon you can have. And I was more on the knowledge side of it. I mean, I had the other, and it's there, but the knowledge, man, the learning, I guess it's what brought me here.
Yeah, brother, I would agree with that, because that's the key with me too, is knowledge. The more you know, the better off you are. Yeah, and we've corroborated together, especially with that Venezuela thing and everything that's going down there. And it's like I said, you can't just look at the United States. You have to look at the whole world, because it's all intermingled. And I've gained a lot of respect for you for that one reason. I can tell you that.
Well, and there's guys that are in the military or similar backgrounds. You can't just analyze the objective you're going to. You've got to look at the surroundings and know the environment, because the environment will affect your actual target. So, I mean, you get too focused on the target, it's easy to get ambushed. So it's better to know the total surroundings. And I'm speaking metaphorically. I mean, I don't mean to, but I'm just saying it's not one piece of the puzzle; it's the whole puzzle.
Right. So then I'm going to ask you a question, because I've been keeping up with the Ukraine and the Russian thing going on. What is your perspective on that? Have you been keeping up with that?
I guess the last time I had was when NATO was discussing sending ships into the Black Seas. That's probably one of the last real things I heard on it. But now I did see where Vladimir Putin had taken control of Russian media. I seen that yesterday. But it kind of made me feel like NATO's pushing Ukraine into an action that potentially could get the United States and all of Europe drug into a war that most of them don't want.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
No, I think I heard it, most of it or all of it.
You cut out, Tan.
Yeah, you're out.
I think we lost the voice on YouTube, guys.
There you go. There you go. Now you're out again. You're good now.
5x5 here.
Yep.
Okay, that probably will fix YouTube there. Okay. Just basically, I'll summarize it. For me, and I'll just start with Q to tenacity. I won't go on to the whole of it, but we actually published this. So, Q, it's been a path for me to find like-minded people, and that's what I mentioned before, right? I'd never have had an acceptable label to call, right? So now it's like now I can find friends, and I've had friends, but even my friends never got it because if you're a truther, truth. That's kind of annoying, by the way, as a friend. Okay. My husband's shaking his head over here like, yeah, tell me about it, right? YouTube's back up. Okay, good. They're telling me 5x5 on YouTube. Okay, perfect. So Q has also reminded me that I can think for myself, right? I was very brainwashed. Just for those who know me, it's a true statement. People talk about it. We read about it. It's true. Okay. You get very compartmentalized. You don't think for yourself. And so when Q said that to me over and over again, and I was already on that path, but anyway, has reiterated the fact that I need to listen to my own intuitions, and my intuitions are right if I just listen to them, right? And that was a big deal for me. I need to believe more in my own value that I can offer, and the cause of great many things, and change the world after all. So even though we're just a little speck of water, that effort can make a huge difference. And I've noticed that in everybody. And even if if nobody notices, right, you still make a difference. And that energy that you put out makes a difference, right? Q has been a ray of hope for me. I've been reminded that there is good in the world, and that someone cares enough, and to wake up us collectively, like that he gave a crap that we're out here, and that he needed us as much as we needed him, because a lot of us had just lost hope, right? Let's see, where was I? I had been that person that was out there. I knew that he existed, somebody existed, and I felt kind of crazy to think that. I didn't forget, that I had been searching for answers, but I had forgotten that I was searching for answers. Sorry. And I didn't, let's see, but Q didn't forget that I was out here searching, and there are people out here who believe enough in us to solve those truths for ourselves. Because of Q, there's a community where I belong. Here, I can help people. I can find out truth. This community is where I bond and commiserate over these discoveries and experiences with my fellow, and that we call them autists, which I'm not sure if that's even right anymore. It's created a connection that I had never otherwise found. Does anybody like that one, or hopefully? I need water. That sounds cooler. I can't wear something.
Are you done?
So just lastly, in Quniverse in general, and I think we brought this forward here, we were all oath keepers, and I think, Freedom, you believe that. We also keep that, and it creates a foundation for me, and I take that real serious. I think a lot of you guys all take it real serious, but I don't think the world knows what that means. And so I'm hoping, right, with Q's reminder and the POTUS's reminder, and just all of us reminding each other that we're on the same side, whether we piss each other off or not. No, it's not meant, right? We're family, and families are going to do that. Fair enough? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's my 2 cents. Anybody else? Anybody else? I think what we're going to do is we're going to end up doing that often. I'd like to set up where we talk. I mean, we can just go back. This was awesome. And there's always stuff to talk about, right? We were just sitting around talking anyway. So it seems like it would make sense to share that talking so that it's, whether anybody listens to it or not, but we can reference it. We do have deals with Golden State Times, and we also have found that archive just full of plethora stuff. If you guys haven't seen it, it is out. Let me show you guys. We've added a few things, actually I should say 101st Avenue, the folders. Let me show you. And I added a couple. So down at the very, very bottom of all this stuff down here, sorry. Excuse me. We're starting to add a lot of stuff. One of the goals here is also to help you guys. We're collecting things about copyrights, licensing, high tech and resources. That's a little on the higher end side, and I did that for those who don't want to get intimidated. For the beginner and just base and all kinds of stuff. We're also going to put all the copyright stuff that we collect, because when we do all these videos, they are licensed for Band of Brothers and our members. Truth be known, the site that I've built, all that material, I've licensing it to Band of Brothers members, and then we're going to try to, do that more. So with Golden State, they're allowing us, and I'm going to make sure, I'm going to get this in writing, us and our members to use that, right? And of course, credit them, you know, that kind of thing. But there's also a huge resource we found yesterday. Let me see if I got it. I think I put it in here. If not, I'll put it now. It's this huge archive. Yes, this archive.org. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it is the just montage of information. And for truthers, it's coming up on my other screen.
Okay, can you drop that in the Discord chat for us, please?
Yeah, I can put it in YouTube, actually. It's just archive.org. I mean, it's like really simple. So you guys really don't need me to give it to you, but I will.
Okay.
But what's cool about this, and actually, let me go to the main page. Yeah, I will. Okay. So before I go back, it's in here for future reference, but let me go back to the top here. Also, don't hesitate, you guys. We really want to make sure if you have a question about technology or just in general, please just let us know. I love helping, and there's a lot of other techies as well. They don't speak up. We're talking about also creating a tech channel, so you can just ask questions if you want, and when we're in between breaks, we can help. The goal here is to empower everybody, and let me go back to that resource for you. So, and this is just the bomb, okay? So this is, as you can see, a nonprofit library of millions. Let me repeat, millions of books, movies, software, music, websites, and literally more. And I cannot even, you will get lost forever in this. And these are just subtopics. It goes on and on and on. It's a beautiful thing. These are all free to use in your research, in your videos, and in you know, and in having fun actually as well. Like this category right here. Well, there could be some, you know, patriotic research, I'm sure. Well, you know, Aleister Crowley, you know, or whatever. Anyway, I would like to, you know, so one of the things just to suggest, you know, when we're live streaming, we're going to try to be careful. Don't put on like any National Geographic, Fox News, Fox News, any of those syndicated that will get us, because as you guys know, Google has a machine, you know. So, but we are allowed to use Golden State, like I said, and anything in here. And as we find, I should say, more of these type of resources, we'll put them back in Discord for you guys, because like I said, the graphics and such that we make are all common. We're going to make common so that you guys can use them as you'd like, and that kind of thing. So any questions you guys want to ask?
The only thing that I want to add to those that don't know is we are going to have visual capabilities. We are not using the OBS system tonight. That is why we don't have the visual things for you in the Discord. Am I correct in saying that? Well, if you
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got told I was muted on YouTube. So just real quick, yes, sir, that's correct. Typically, and if you heard me the first time, tonight we were just opening it up to the members and just talking about us for a change. And then so people know who we are. And then going forward, yes, sir, we have so much research between all of our archives, right? This is just one, right? And like I said, I have a website that I have some things on. We have Discord libraries full of, you know, everybody has so much. I mean, I have a minuscule compared to like in the Matrix, right? That's what I'm hoping to hint, nudge, come on in. Did that answer your question, sir?
yes. So does anybody else have any questions?
No.
That just makes you boring, Murph.
Sorry. I guess I should say thank you.
Okay, we've been online for like an hour and a half. I think we're pretty good. Or an hour and 13 minutes. It looks like, right? Is this a
So,
good
so
idea, you guys? Is this, I mean, should you think it's worth putting energy to, or do you think we should just, like, wrap it up and chill now? Just, I mean, totally no answer is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all are interested in, uh, talk about a subject, something. What did it's like DARPA. I don't know why I decided that I was going to dive into DARPA, and I literally went, to the government DARPA website and was so astounded what they're willing to tell you on their own government website, such as if you scroll down and you start clicking on things, I come across this video. And this guy writes this program of in the dark web, because the web, Google only gives you probably less than 10% of the web. Google only gives you access to less than 10% of the web. So there's all this other web, and they call it the dark web. The dark web, the deep dark web. Well, it's dark because nobody knows how to get to it. But guess what? So this guy writes this program connecting all these people who are engaged in human trafficking, women and children specifically. And the hotspots of where people are human trafficked are like Los Angeles, New York City, San Diego. Vegas was another hotspot. And I thought there would be a lot of people along the border of Texas. And I was shocked. You have to understand, at the time that video was made, there showed almost nothing. I said, well, that's one of the biggest port of entries for illegal aliens. Be surprised. Los Angeles was the biggest one. And how it webs all over, not only just in the United States, but all over the world. This guy wrote a program. And yet, why? Now, 60 Minutes had done and it was Leslie Stahl, I believe it was, who was interviewing the guy who wrote the program and was explaining to her how it worked. Now, that's just right there. And that was just me spending an hour, because I was interested in what is DARPA. You hear about DARPA, you hear about G5, you hear about all these things. Well, what is it? Well, Google it. Just start with Googling it. And then go to if it's a government website, go there. See what you can see. See what they will disclose. I couldn't believe they were literally disclosing human sex trafficking. And they know where these people are. They know right down to the computer that it's coming from.
So you have those documents?
Yeah, well, I started a DARPA file over on my server. And it was just something I did this morning. And that was, and every morning I sort of try to wake, and now some mornings I'm just not interested. I just sort of going to read whatever fell into my main text chat. I go to other people's main text chat, see what's in theirs, and I just sort of want to, but it was that kind of thing that just sort of falls into your lap. And of course, I immediately put that information into my human trafficking files. I started a DARPA file, etc. And so it's not that difficult that if you have a subject, a very specific subject, DARPA, you just Google it. And there are other browsers that you can use. Bing, come on, Tenacity, help me out. You know the names of all these browser things. But there are tons of other browsers that you can use. AOL is still out there. Yeah, I don't know who uses it, but there are lots of other browsers. There's one browser that I found, Max gave it to me, that if you type in that one, it searches 15 other browsers for you to find information. And it's fantastic. So that's a good research tool. But if you just keep it simple, and sometimes as few as words, if you can ask the question in 3 words maximum, that will really clarify your search for it. So we have Internet Explorer, Edge, Chrome, Foxfire. Yes, Pinnacle has it. That's the one that will provide you with a whole bunch of different browse searchers in one search. But it was just something I did, and thing of how they do it. But you start a file and you keep it.
I was just looking real quick at DARPA when you were talking. I just put in DARPA in this thing, right? And again, I don't think they're all the same DARPAs, but there's some of them. This is just the television archive I'm in, not necessarily, which is weird because these aren't all television things. They look like document.
Well, I went to the government website for DARPA. That's what I start. I generally try to start with what you would consider a primary source, since they were the creator, the United States federal government. You would look for the United States federal government, a .gov website.
Freedom, can I ask you why you decided to dive on DARPA? Was there something that you saw?
I don't remember what started me off with that this morning. Because when I came to that one video on 60 Minutes, and I just click on it, because it was about human trafficking. And of course, that's something that I'm interested in, and where that human trafficking comes from for the United States. And, I can't tell you why. It just did. And I just sort of look at the news and, whatever sort of the hot topic in the news, I try to go, and I try to find a primary source. Try to think, well, who's the creator of that? Well, if it's the government, do that. If it's a particular tech industry, or if it's energy industry, or publishing, what have you, I try to find the primary source for that area. And that's always important in research, a primary source, the number one place to go. And it differs, if it's science or education, it doesn't matter. You have to think about what you're, it's like the Department of Education. Or who was spreading Common Core around the United States? Well, you can look to the federal government, for that one. But I'll see if I can get the link for the one that the link to the DARPA.
All right, I got OBS working. Do you guys see it now, a little different now?
Yes, ma'am.
It actually was DARPA.mil for military.
Let's go there. It's
And I click on
DARPA. What?
and DARPA.mil, MIL, for military.
No, that was me.
You know, like DARPA.gov, but it wasn't .gov, it was .mil for military. And they had some really cool vehicles, and but this is one of the things that I copied. I took a
We
Right
still
place?
live? YouTube?
Yes. Do you guys see
Oh,
it?
just wondering.
Here's a
Yeah,
link.
we got to go to YouTube to see it, though.
Here's a link to the video that I found over there, and this was it was a story on the gentleman who actually created the program. Creates a dark web search engine, and I wouldn't be using his search engine unless you have a VPN, and but it shows you the hot spots where human trafficking and there. Now you see how islands into Los Angeles, and the human trafficking that leaves the United States and goes outside the United States. It's really sad.
Sorry, where should I go here?
Or DARPA.mil. I don't, you know, I just was, you know,
Oh, okay. Nowhere in particular. You're saying it's
on the link I gave you.
I'm there. I'm there now. I have it on the screen on YouTube. I'm actually got the OBS layout that we laid out finally working. It was being weird from that layout when we did that demonstration, so I got it working while we were playing. I was just wondering. So we can show stuff. This is to your point, 101st. We did. This is working now. And we can change this. I think this is what you were asking. The chat that you guys are using from Discord is showing up here now, and then that way you guys don't have to worry about. You can say stuff, and just comes in here will show up also for YouTube, so they can see your links. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Are you guys still out there?
Yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about tonight? I mean, other than on live streaming. I mean, I'm okay. We're hanging. I don't mind. I'm cool. I figured out finally how to stand on one foot and talk at the same time.
Anything else you might need to work on or figure out?
I was gonna change that badge. So, do you guys have? I mean, I have tons of stuff, but I don't want to. You know, I
Why
have
don't you
it
go
for
into that
backup.
archive? Why don't you go into that archive and pull something up, put it on the screen? You know, like I don't know,
Sure.
something interesting.
Something interesting. I mean, we can always look and see what came in. And that's one thing as well is we can go look at what was the highlights of the day as well. I didn't see. Again, I was working on this, so I didn't get to. I didn't get to see what happened today, but it's also Saturday. So let me pull that up. In 1 second, I was going to change that badge. I have we changed that to a Patriot badge instead of a police badge. I'll change it later though.
First, can I get an invite for someone to your site?
I believe you have that capability.
I don't.
Okay, doke. Get one to you right now.
Okay.
So what topic do we want to dive in today? Anything in particular? I mean, like I said, I'm open. We can roll dice. I'm good. We were like in a rabbit hole with this archive last night. It was crazy. Like, I just put in HRC, and I just was like, I mean, it's just crazy. There's just so much stuff. Sorry, I've got too many screens right now. Hey, David, what did you find? Was there anything interesting when you went into that Toronto, or is it too scary for for sharing? Is he still listening? I don't think he is actually. Oh, are you listening, Davo? Oh, he's shy.
Yeah.
So did you find anything interesting in that Canada library last night? Or is it too strange? Probably too strange. Yeah, if you guys like strange, I'm told go to the Toronto universities. They're pretty crazy over there. We can leave that alone. I mean, there's HRCs in the news. You guys, I don't know. There's so much stuff here. It's almost overwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah, so close your eyes and pick one. What's your pleasure, Murph?
Any topic?
Sure.
Yeah, this is like Russian roulette here. Go for it. There's like anything here, dude. I'm serious. Like, I didn't even know there would be a category called electric sheep. What? And I saw acid rap. Didn't know what that was either.
And it's got old movies in there. It's got old radio shows. It's got just about anything that your heart would desire.
There's even software. I wasn't really sure about that. All the patents. That was another one. I was like, holy crap, all the patents are in here? You know how hard it is to find the dang patents? Well, at least 400,000 of them anyway. There's films, which is interesting. But anything. I mean, and have you guys want to see what's the Hitler book we found? Pinnacle, I think. Is that who found it?
Mein Kampf.
Yeah, Mein Kampf. The actual original is in here. Like the like pictures of it, his transcript, I think, and then also the English translation, and then a bunch of it. I mean, just anything you want to know is in here. I'm serious. I mean, seriously. Make up a random topic that you just, I don't know, that you wouldn't think. I don't know. We don't have to go there. Just that would be interesting.
Okay. So, like, Golden State just uploaded a video.
Oh yeah, we can do Golden State. Yeah, we're allowed to do that. We're allowed to do that too. You lost the interest in the archive already? Oh my gosh, you guys are not very critical thinking tonight.
We're on an exploring mission.
Yeah, I need to make them like a front and center shortcut.
Oh, this is where you get the old time radio stuff, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, man. There's all kinds of stuff, Murph. It's unbelievable the content.
Amazing,
Cornell University Library.
oh, let me switch my phone. Switch account.
The State Department. Well, this just goes on and on.
It's just, yeah.
Like mind-boggling.
It's overwhelming. It's just like, oh my goodness. So how many, did I hear a rumor today that there's another like 20 to 40,000 more text messages between the lovebirds here?
I mean, you would. This is what kills me more than anything. If they were texting that much, what were they actually doing on a job? I mean, is Washington really all that screwed up that these guys are texting back and forth all the time? And they're not really doing their job? I mean, that's like very interrupting, as far as trying to get something. I mean, think about it. 40 to 50,000 texts. What were you talking about? Seeing Lisa Page and Peter Strzok. Is that what you're talking? Hello?
I'm here. Sorry. Kid aggro. You know how that goes.
I was just saying, it was what you were talking about. What Peter Strzok and Lisa Page's text 40 to 50,000.
Yeah, they were prolific in their production, weren't they?
They were prolific in something.
Yeah, I think Lisa Page, she rolled a freight train right on top of her little friend Pete.
Well, yeah, without a doubt, she probably figured, like, I'm not going to jail. You guys are. See ya.
Which one did you want to see 101st?
Well, I just got a notification that he just uploaded a video. So hold on, let me go to my messages and out.
So Donald Trump, wow, 19,000 texts between Lisa Page and her lover, Peter S. of the FBI, in charge of the Russia hoax. Were just reported as being wiped clean and gone. Such a big story that will never be covered by the fake news. And he should have put hashtag witch hunt. He just put witch hunt explanation. Done by the super troll in chief.
I posted in the text.
What a crowd, what power, what beautiful people. I see you all week, and now I have to see you once again to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. It's been an incredible 2 years. It's been very, very special. We have so many members of Congress, and we have our cabinet, almost the entire cabinet, members of the Supreme Court of the United States, and it has been something very special. We've done things that nobody would have thought possible, and I say it often, and I don't get rebuked for saying it, but no administration has done more in the first 2 years than the Trump administration, which is many of the folks in the room. When you think about the tax cuts and the regulation cuts and all of the things that have happened, including 2 great new Supreme Court justices. And what people don't know is that we've almost reached the 100 of federal judges. That's a big, big mark. And I see Mike Pence over here and Peter. Thank you, Peter. Peter, did you get your grandson in? Good. Okay, I thought that would be. He said, I got to get my grandson in. You got it. Peter King. And Mike and Karen, thank you very much for being over. Get up here, Mike. Will you come up, please? Come on up. Come on in. But it has been a very, very special, special time. And we're doing so much. And I think next week
guys,
we have a chance
think
to
I'm
get
gonna hit it
criminal justice reform. They've been trying to do it for many, many years. They've been working on it, and let's see what happens. But it looks like it has a chance. And next week it looks like the Farm Bill is in very, very good shape. So we'll get the Farm Bill. Got to take care of the farmers. But it's just been something very, very exciting. This is a house that's very exciting. This is a house that we love being in. We love living in it. Look at it tonight in between all of the great food. You know, we have the A team of chefs. We have A teams, B teams, and C teams. The C teams give you a lot, but it's not very good. The A team gives you a lot, and it is very good. So tonight you have a lot of great food. So enjoy it. But look around at the house because it's an incredible place. It's sort of where it all begins. It starts. It sort of moves along, and then it starts all over again if you don't get it right. And it's been very exciting living in the White House. To me, it's a happy place. You know, a lot of presidents have said it's not a happy place. I find it to be a happy place. I want to thank Melania, our great First Lady, for doing the decorations. As you know, she worked so hard on all of the beautiful decorations. I don't know if you've gotten to see all of them, but upstairs, downstairs, all over, and people love what she did. And I love what she has done, and I'll tell you what, she does it from the heart. She has done a terrific job. People love our First Lady, so thank you very much, Honey. Very nice. Really good. And I want to thank Mike for all the help that he's given me. Karen and Mike have been incredible, 2 incredible people. And we have so much more to do. And again, this is going to be an exciting week, but I think it's going to be a really exciting year and exciting 2 years. I believe we're going to get really good health care. Exciting things happened over the last 24 hours. And if everybody's smart, because we have a lot of Democrats here tonight, and I'm very happy about that, people don't realize it. I have a lot of friends who are Democrats. And we have Democrats here, and if the Republicans and the Democrats get together, we are going to end up with incredible health care, which is the way it should have been from day one, and it's going to happen. It now has a chance to happen. And the other thing they're going to start working on very shortly is an infrastructure bill, because that's something I think everybody wants to see. So we'll start working on that. So, look, enjoy yourself, travel around, look at every molding of this house. It's just an incredible place to be. And again, thank you all. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Have a great New Year. We're going to have an incredible New Year for our country, most importantly. And to our First Lady, thank you very much on a job well done. Thank you.
Welcome to the White House. Enjoy the evening. Merry Christmas and happy and healthy New Year.
Thanks. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great time. Thank you. Enjoy it. See you out there.
All right. Anything else you guys want to see this evening or talk about? I think we did a pretty good 2-hour run.
Cool stuff. So we want to do taps and end it for the evening, and then just go private.
Sounds good.
Did anyone has a favorite version that they like to hear for the evening?
Where we go one, we go all.
You want?
Yes.
And away we go. Thank you guys very much for today. Sorry for the bugs and thank you for your patience. We'll get things on schedule so that you guys are aware and we do things a little bit hopefully planned. But again, this is just Patriot having, getting together. So thank you again.
They call us deplorable, and we love the name. They got the bodies in the dirt and need someone to blame. Got a penchant for greed and money to spare. They put the dollars in the coffers and the lies in the air. Well, we go one, we go all. I won't push you down, you won't let me fall. One day for sure we will stand tall. Where we go one, we go all. We are the Patriots. Trust the plan because we have it all, and the fate is in our hands. Had a reason to fool us, but we didn't take the bait. They want to take us to hell, but we got guns at the gate. Call it a conspiracy. It's the one last lie. We know who they are, and we got them in our sights. Our knowledge is power. They're running for the hills. If the law don't get them, then we the people will. push you down, you won't let me fall. One day for sure we will stand tall. Where we go on, we go on.